Comtrade's actually a 25-year-old company, believe it or not. It was started by some folks out in Europe, and it started as a distribution hardware business. So they were out, selling Lenovo and Dell machines and Toshiba machines, and it was really a box business, going out and just selling hardware. At some point, the then owner of the company decided to acquire another business that happened to have a pool of 1,000 software engineers in it, and they were doing basically outsourcing. I showed up about 10 years ago. I had this very small consulting startup business. It was acquired by Comtrade, and they put me in as the VP of product. And I started looking at that business and looking at these 1,000 engineers. And I really realized something very strange. You had 1,000 engineers sitting in the countries of Slovenia, Serbia, Bosnia, all out there in sort of southeastern Europe. And they were just doing outsourcing. But all of the outsourcing they were doing was for building data protection, backup and recovery products, and monitoring tools for large blue chips. And I sort of thought, well, if you're so good at building backup tools and backup products, why are you just outsourcing it to everybody else and doing it, for time and materials, time margins? So there I was, sort of with some gusto, entrepreneurial spirit, sitting in Prague in the Czech Republic, where I was living at the time, believe it or not.
Nice city.
Yeah, beautiful city, and very cheap. So when you're an entrepreneur, I would certainly recommend it. It's pretty low-cost living out there. I was working with these engineers and looking at all the things they'd done, and I realized they had actually worked on about 40% of the Gartner Magic Quadrant for backup and recovery. And I said, this is nuts. How do you have a company sitting out here that nobody's ever heard of, that's building the data protection tools for all these large blue chips, and you're not building your own software? So we set to work, we went to the board, and we said, look, we're going to become a product company. We're going to evolve Comtrade from being this time and materials services business to being a pure play software company. And the way we started that process was we said, let's just take a small team of ninjas, like a little ninja squad. We took 20 people, put them in a room, and we said, let's build some monitoring tools. Let's do that first. Let's see if we build a product, can we actually bring it to market? So we looked at the IP library. We realized we had some IP that connected Microsoft System Center Operations Manager, or SCOM, to Citrix. And I said, okay, so we've got some tools. We've actually got some IP that we own that is an end-user monitoring tool for Citrix. Citrix is a big blue-chip company, as you know, leads, one of the leaders in the virtualization space. And we set to work. We went from 1 to 5 to 16 monitoring tools for Citrix. We had no sales team. I hired 4 people. They became the sales team. I think our first marketing budget was $50,000. And somehow we were able to go from 0 to 2,000 customers in 4 years.